Hello, it's a Nosebleed Perspective, and it is also August 1st, 2020, and we're here with a weekly recap. So, we're going to go over the past week in sports, talk about what's happened and how it's impacting the future of sports, all that. First off, just happy that sports are back in full force almost now. A little
Thank
different,
God.
but we do have hockey coming back today, and then we have the NBA started a couple days ago. So, it's pretty exciting. No fans or fans, whatever. It doesn't even matter at this point. So, pretty excited. But all right, so we'll kick it off. We're gonna start in the NFL. Joey Bosa, Los Angeles Chargers, just signed a 5-year, $135 million contract. 102 of that is guaranteed, which is the record for I think defensive players. So and guaranteed money at least. So what do you guys think about this for Joey
Yeah,
Bosa?
you got to LA has got to pay this man. I mean, it's the second most important position, third maybe, but and he's one of the best at it. You can't just let this guy walk. So whatever it takes, you got to pay him.
Absolutely. I mean, they don't have a quarterback that they're playing right now. This guy's proven himself for years. They might as well pay him. And he hasn't taken a helmet off of a player and hit him in the face with it, like Myles Garrett, who just got paid too. So this dude deserved the extra 10 million that Myles didn't get.
Yeah, so on the other side, Melvin Ingram, he's on his last year. I think he had a 4-year, $64 million deal or something like that. So it kind of makes you wonder. I doubt they pay him again. Maybe they can tag him, but I don't know. Because that defense, they're going to have to, coming up in 2 years, they're going to have to pay Derwin James if they want to hold on to him. They just signed Chris Harris Jr., which was not cheap. But that defense they're all in this year for defense. I mean, if their offense can play, manage the game, put some points on the board, the Chargers are a team. But I feel like we say this every year with the Chargers. But with Phillip Rivers out of town, maybe they could do something. But boy, that defense is stout, man. So, all right, okay. So sticking with the NFL, the COVID-19 pandemic has kind of made some players opt out of the 2020 season so far. A couple big-ish names that have kind of opted out this year. Dante Hightower, he's always I feel like a dude in the Super Bowl who makes the play that turns the tide and all that for the Patriots. Damian Williams, running back for the Chiefs, sticking with the Chiefs. That Dr. O Lyman, he has a long name. I don't know his name, but he's out. So I feel like we'll let Gibby touch on that, see how important that'll be and affect that team. Marquise Goodwin, which was a wide receiver for the Eagles. He just got traded there, or signed, I don't remember. But that's a big hit because they were already kind of depleted, obviously, a receiver last year. Nate Solder, offensive lineman for the Giants. That's a big hit for a young quarterback, I think, too. So do you guys think this starts a trend for teams in the future, or how does this impact anything? Fantasy, future players opting out? What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, it's a weird year of sports. It's going to be, and I'm never going to hold anything against someone who tries to do it, what's best for their family or anything. So for the guys that are holding out, do what you got to do. I think it's great news for free agents and stuff though, because all that cap space is going to open up. There's going to be people with second chances. So always try to look at the good side. As far as the Chiefs are concerned, it's going to be the right guard, and they're already kind of hurting at the left guard. But they're going to be next to Mitchell Schwartz, so he's going to be able to, guide them and whoever steps up in that spot. And there's some old vets out there that might be able to grab to replace them at right guard. And fantasy wise, just make sure you stay up. That they don't make headlines, but make sure you keep up with the O linemen that are sitting out, because that's really going to affect running backs, especially.
Yeah, I mean, you hit the nail on the head there. It's kind of you can't blame the players for trying to stay healthy and protect their families. So I don't blame them, but it's definitely going to be a volatile situation with drafting. And the earlier your fantasy league is drafting, the more dangerous you are, or the more
Yeah,
dangerous it is.
for sure. Definitely try to hold off as long as you can make it work within your league. But yeah, so they're giving the players that are high risk, the NFL's their salary is going to be, I think it's 350,000 for the year if they opt out, and if they're not high risk, I think it's 150,000. So obviously you're going to stay very comfortable, but yeah, you can't blame these guys for opting out. So kind of the biggest news that hit off as soon as we last recorded afterward. Jamal Adams traded to the Seahawks for over the next couple of years for 2 first-rounders, a third-rounder, and a McDougald, I think was his name, the safety in Seattle. What do you think about this, Cheech? I mean, you had to know it was coming, first off. I mean, he wasn't going to play. I think I said on this weekly recap last week, he's not playing another game in New York. So,
Yeah. I mean, it hurt, man. Like, I've seen this coming a couple months ago when I was buying New Jersey after Robbie Anderson left. I was between Jamal Adams and Sam Darnold, and I went with the Darnold jersey because I had a strong feeling Jamal Adams would not finish this season as a Jet. Didn't know he wouldn't even start it as a Jet, though. We got a lot out of that trade. 2 first-rounders and starting safety, cool. However, McDougald is not Jamal Adams, and those are going to be late-round draft picks both years. So I don't think the Jets got enough for it because Jamal Adams is a dynamic, game-changing player, and that void isn't going to get filled by players that are 20-plus draft picks, and that void isn't going to get filled by McDougald. Just to put it into perspective, in Madden, Jamal Adams is a 92, McDougald is a 79. I mean, you're not going to you don't replace a 92 with a 79. That's all I got on that. Fuck the Jets.
It's got to hurt. I mean, look, Jamal Adams, he's a superstar. He's a great player, hard hitter, all that. But I just feel like people in Seattle, if they're going to ride this high with him, they need to pump the brakes a little bit because they lost a lot of pieces last year that no one's really talking about, in my opinion. And it starts in the trenches. Like, I love a good O-line. They lost two starting O-linemen last year. And George Fant and DJ Fluker, they're not the best in the league, but they're solid players for them over the past couple of years. And their D-line, they lost a couple of, almost half the whole damn D-line is gone from last year. Obviously Jadeveon Clowney. It kind of feels like when the Rams had a lot of needs last year they needed to address, and they slapped a Jalen Ramsey Band-Aid over everything, So I think they're going to be fine in Seattle. They win games. Russell Wilson just is the guy he just wins games. But just kind of keep that in mind going forward in Seattle next year. Gibby, do you have anything? No? Okay. All right. Well, some positive news for our Washington Red Potatoes. Alex Smith is now cleared for full football activity. That's crazy news. It's wild that he's, this soon back in action after his terrible, gruesome, disgusting injury. Ron Rivera says he's in the quarterback mix. So you guys think he could possibly be the savior that the Red Potatoes need this year?
No. I mean, it's impressive that this guy is even going to be remotely get paid. If you haven't watched it, that documentary, it's on ESPN. I think it's also on YouTube. It's only 40 minutes. Go check it out. His leg was gone. There's no part of his leg left. It's crazy that he's even back there, but it's going to take a lot more than a quarterback to fix that organization.
Yeah, obviously. You got to give him some hope, though. It's a little bit of – I mean, you got Dwayne Haskins back there. So, I mean, It's I don't know.
Exactly. With 1.5 legs, Alex Smith is definitely a better quarterback than Dwayne Haskins. So I'm sure he'll end up starting, and I'm sure they'll end up 4-12. So,
yeah. I don't know. It'll be interesting. We'll see. I mean, I wish the dude well. I'm sure Gibby does too, all those years in Kansas City.
Oh, yeah.
But,
love Alex Smith.
Yeah. All right. So we'll go to the NBA. It resumed a couple nights ago. So the first slate of games, the Utah Jazz playing the New Orleans Pelicans. Zion is back, but he was on a minute restriction, which he must not be, full health or something is going on with him still, because last night, I think they were the 9th seed or not seed, but they were 9th in the West before the game a couple nights ago. And now they dropped down to the 11. So, and they needed him. I think they were saying he's the most efficient basketball player in the NBA right now. As the time he plays, he puts up points think he had like 13 points in 11 minutes the first 3 quarters or something like that. So I was just kind of confused. So I guess he's still kind of not 100% at all because they need to win and they need to win now. And he wasn't playing. So just excited about that. Brandon Ingram, if they do get in the playoffs, is the guy to me who's going to carry them because the dude's, most improved player. He's a beast. He looks like Kevin Durant out there. He's really, really good. And I don't know if enough people are talking about him. what's his name? Redick. Yeah. Dude's still a weapon. Still a monster. So I don't know. The Suns are playing right now, Gibby. Think they can make it in?
0 shot. I think mathematically it's 0.05, but an old Suns coach is coaching the Pelicans and Alvin Gentry, and he needs to be fired right now. Like today, he needs to be fired because Zion Williamson has been on this minute restriction since the day he stepped foot on the court when he came back healthy. That day he came in, I think he missed like his first 2 shots, and he hit 4 threes in a row, and Alvin Gentry set him on the bench. And the whole thing is he doesn't want the pressure to be on him. Like, this is the NBA. This isn't football. You don't need to slow, like, I don't want to say it's a simple game, but it's simpler. Like, you are a freak athlete. Like, get on the court. Let this man be your star and let him take you places. But Alvin Gentry is an idiot. Fire him.
Yeah, I mean, if he is healthy and he's on this minute restriction because he's worried about whatever the case may be, he definitely needs to go because the dude comes in, he balls. He's like the quickest decision maker I've seen in a long time. As soon as he gets the ball, he's just going at the basket. I mean, the dude's just a monster, and you have to let him go. So I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, NFL Top 100 list came out, and it is atrocious. Not a fan of it at all. I was wondering if you guys had any like numbers or rankings that stood out to you. I'll just go ahead and start off with just a couple, but your boy Mitchell Schwartz, Gibby, not on the list. Trent Brown, not on the list. Nosebleed boy, Matty Stafford, not on the list. Keenan Allen at 77 was the biggest one who was on the list that I didn't like. You guys have anybody else?
Yeah, there was only like 9 or 8 offensive linemen total, so the list is bogus just to start off that because them are one of the most important players in the league. But I guess they pull – because I looked up this because I was like, what the hell is this list? And I guess they pull players at the Pro Bowl. They have them fill it out there at the Pro Bowl. So, of course, these guys, they get off the plane, they're liquored up, they're celebrating or, frustrated because, like, Aaron Jones, running back for the Packers, said he voted for himself as number 1. Like, this list is stupid. Kenny Galladay not even being on the list, dumb. The dude led the league in touchdowns with backup quarterbacks, and you're not even going to put him on the list. There's a bunch.
Yeah.
It's just frustrating.
Yeah, and like you said, there's 8 or 9 linemen, and then there's 7 quarterbacks in the top 20. Like, Lamar Jackson's number 1. I mean, this list is just absolutely bogus. This thing is about as irrelevant as anything else. Like, it's so irrelevant to me, I could care less about this list.
Yeah, I mean, it is very relevant. And I couldn't believe it, man. Like, Julio at 11, still, like, the dude, I don't know. It's high, but it's Julio Jones. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just kind of crazy to me. Devontae Adams, 57. 57.
Kirk Cousins, 58. Can't win a primetime game.
Jesus Christ.
58.
58. Wow. Yeah, I mean, I think Fitzgerald was like 69 or something. Just like, come on. Like, dude's whatever. Okay, so moving on. Notre Dame integrated into the upcoming ACC schedule, and we'll have a chance to compete for that title. They're not doing any divisions in the ACC this year. They're just going to do the top 2 with the winning percentages that's highest, which is beautiful for me and the Louisville football team because we don't have to play Clemson this year, so we don't have to automatically put that L, which works out. I love that. We do have to play Notre Dame again, but that's okay. We kind of saw over the past couple of days, a couple other conferences follow suit. The SEC also moving to a 10-game conference-only schedule. And if the South and the SEC is doing it, everybody else is going to be doing it. So Pac-12, I think, just announced this morning that they're going to be doing a 10-game conference-only. So looks like this is the direction we're going with college football. I'm all right with it. How about you guys?
Yeah, I'm cool with it. Anything that get college football, I'm good with. I think the Big 12 is the only conference that hasn't announced that they're doing conference only. But guess what? If every other conference is doing conference only, you can't play any out of conference games. So that announcement will be coming soon. I think it's good for Notre Dame to get into a conference, though, because they're about the only independent school that matters. I think Idaho is independent, like Navy or something. But for them to get into a conference, it just makes a conference that much more competitive for Clemson and them guys that are trying to get whatever playoff push we might have.
Yeah, you're right. It definitely does give a little extra degree of competition in the ACC. I just don't understand, and I still can't wrap my head around the conference only thing because the players are still traveling to other places. So, what are they being protected from by doing conference only? Alabama traveling to Missouri, it is the same as. I mean, it's a further distance than if West Virginia went up to Virginia to play an ACC school.
Yep.
So I don't understand the conference only thing. It's not like all the conferences and their students live together, so they're exposed to each other, and that's it. But college football's somehow selling this as a healthy, safe thing to do, and it brings back college football, so I could care less.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, yeah, it's true. I mean,
just put it on my TV.
You know, like Boston College playing down in Miami or something like that. You know, it's But hey, I mean, it sounds like we're gonna have college football though. They're seeing other sports do this kind of thing where there's no fans, and we'll see. You know how the NFL moves forward if they do like type of bubble situation. I doubt it, but
be tough.
Yeah. Anyway, Lincoln Riley, Oklahoma football coach, agrees to a 6-year contract with old Boomer Sooner. So looks like Baker Mayfield will not be reunited with his coach when he's the backup quarterback next year on the sideline. So guys have any thoughts on this at all?
Yeah, I don't get why more college coaches don't stay. Like Lincoln Riley is always going to have a great team. Even if he does terrible in recruiting, like people grow up wanting to play OU football like that in the Midwest. Like that is your goal. So even if he puts no effort into recruiting at all, he's still going to have a top team. He's going to know who he's playing, like just the comfort of it and everything like that. Like you don't have to worry about like management or anything. It's you and your team. So good for Lincoln Riley. Obviously, a West Virginia fan, it sucks because I think the guy's a brainiac, but it is what it is.
Yeah, dude's proven he's got solid numbers starting his career, and I mean, like you said, they're always going to get good players. So it's
looks like your team just fighting for that 4 seed for another 6 years, buddy.
Exactly. Good to go. We're just always just gonna be teasing. Like, hey, you're in the playoffs, but you're out. Like you're eliminated right away. You might make it to overtime, but that's it.
Yeah, that's awesome. We'll have to do a college football episode here in a few weeks or so. So anyway, MLB, Miami Marlins, COVID count up to like 19 or 20 now. It's just, I mean, I don't know what they expected. I think Rob Manfred still was like, oh, that's why we have backup players. But I mean, like, dude, I mean, nobody wants to see that shit. So like you said, it is good for those people who are in that kind of free agent realm or, you know, who get their opportunity, but should they just like remove themselves from the league in the rest of the year? I mean, like what's quarantine? Because I mean, if they quarantine themselves for 2 weeks, and then what does that do to the schedule for everyone else? You know, I don't know how that's going to work for baseball.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. They've canceled a few more games. So the St. Louis Cardinals yesterday, they had positive tests as well, so they had to cancel their weekend games. It's just going to be tough for baseball. There's going to be a lot of double headers, I think, in the last month. That's one of the cool things about baseball is you kind of can make it up that way. Maybe they have to push the playoffs back a little bit. Maybe there should be like a gap where like there's just 3 weeks of just makeup games that, you know, but it's going to be tough and their leadership is not good in MLB. So I'm sure they'll screw it up, but I hope not.
Yeah, it's so wild, like seeing the numbers for the Marlins just going up like that. Because I just don't understand, like, what is going on that if they have private planes and then they fly to wherever they're playing or what like I don't understand like how they're exposing themselves. What's going on? Are these dudes just like going and like licking like stripper poles or like what's happening? I don't know.
Miami.
But yeah, exactly. Yeah, but I mean, now we know the Marlins are safe from COVID. Like they've all got it.
Yep.
It's all like they got the antibodies or whatever. Like they're built up. Their
Good
immune
to go.
system's good. Yeah, so I think that every MLB team should just expose all their players to it.
To the
Like, these dudes are
Marlins.
world-class athletes. Like they're not going to die. They're world-class athletes. They'll be fine. Everybody gets exposed to it, then start the season.
Yeah, let them just go in a room, make out with each other, quarantine off for
Exactly.
2 weeks, push out the schedule for another 2 weeks, and then just.
Yep, spit in each other's mouths and good to go.
I like what you said, though. I mean, that's a great idea, Cheech. Yeah, but realistically, Gibby, that was a good idea too. I think you just fixed the issues, push back the postseason a few weeks, and then just have everybody play their makeup games, test everybody, and if there is somebody who's out, let them sit out for that gap that you're pushing the season or the playoffs back. But they're not going to do that. Something's going to be wrong. Just happened like an hour ago or two. Antonio Brown officially suspended for 8 games from the NFL. I know we didn't talk about this previously, but you guys see any type of Kareem Hunt situation happening where he's just signed with the team right away now that they know when he's going to be available to play? I think that's what people are holding on to.
Oh yeah, I think he'll be signed within the week. He wants to know where he's going and everything. Like, it's going to be awesome. I'm glad. Anytime you can get, like, I don't know, like, I don't want to say I'm glad because I don't know this whole situation of like what all he did or whatever. NFL gave him 8 weeks, but as a football fan, I'm glad because this guy is just. I mean, he could be the number 1 wide receiver in the league stepping back on the field. Like, he was that good when he left. So I'm excited to wherever he goes, as long as it's not the AFC West.
Are there
I'm
any
glad
teams over there? Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just saying, I'm glad that he's already burned his bridge with the Patriots because right now they could probably really use him. And I think that him teaming up with Cam would be a just dynamic offense. But I'm glad that bridge has been burned. I know the Jets aren't going to take him because Adam Gase will not let a star player come no matter what. So he's probably going to stay at the AFC East. Yeah, I don't know where he's going to go, but I mean, the dude's just phenomenal. So
Yeah, I mean, he's going to want to go somewhere with a chance to win. So, I mean, I do like, obviously we talked about him, he's been working out with Russell Wilson in Seattle. So that is, oh my God, that's scary. Like that division needed anybody else to come in and play. But, like we talked about, Marquise Goodwin's opting out for the season. Maybe the Eagles are a team that,
That'd be sick.
definitely use somebody like him. So it's just something to watch out for too, because I think he knows that I just feel like I can see Antonio Brown in Philadelphia for some reason. I don't know. So I don't know. But you guys have anything else that happened this week you want to talk about? No.
Good, hit it.
All right. Well, that's our weekly recap from Nosebleeds. We'll be back with some guests throughout the week and some fantasy rankings. So you all take care. Subscribe to the channel. We appreciate that. Thank you.